Yuval.
Yes.
From Google.
Yes. Nice to meet you guys.
Google Cloud. Welcome.
Yuval, I have had a description from you called, you are Head of Online Partnerships at
That's correct.
Google Cloud.
Yes.
No less.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Can you welcome to the show?
Thank you very much.
Tell us a bit about the resurgence with Google Cloud of late.
So as you may have heard, over the past year, we've rebranded. So we used to be called Google for Work.
Yes.
Actually, before that, we were called Google Enterprise, and now we've called Google Cloud, which in a way puts a lot of significance of what Google puts on the cloud in how to drive businesses small and big. As part of Google Cloud, there's the G Suite, which used to be called Google Apps for Work, productivity applications based in the cloud, Gmail, Calendar, and others. And obviously the Google Cloud Platform, in a way the building blocks that power many organizations today, from virtual machines all the way to big data analytics, machine learning, and whatnot.
I've seen a couple of recent announcements about Google. In fact, I've written them down. I didn't know that you offered a support as a service now, which is it's a very recent announcement, isn't it?
We're trying to build an ecosystem. There's just, Google doesn't want to reach the size of some of its competitors, and we want to build an ecosystem where partners play an equal part in driving these great products and services which are open, so everyone could take advantage of the disruption we're seeing of the cloud and big data and machine learning.
Because, you know, would I say one of your competitors would be AWS? I'd be right in saying.
On the GCP side, yes, that's definitely a competitor.
Amazingly, I've done my research.
Okay.
I don't
My
normally.
goodness.
I normally just
First
make it
time
up
for
because nobody
everything.
understands what I'm talking about.
Did you
anyway.
Google it?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, forget
No, I
it.
didn't. But I did use Google's search engine.
There you go.
However, you know, I will say this. I was impressed that Google have got a tool set now, waiting for AWS, and actually directly, from the comparative terms to AWS costing, is up to 35% cheaper than AWS. I was impressed with that. Not a lot of people know that, and they don't, and you should shout about it because, you know, and they're a big giant AWS, and I'll probably get shot for saying that, or I'm not slating them, I just want to say that, but you don't evangelise about it. That's
So Google Cloud is now getting a big push both internally in Google. I mean, just last week we were at the next event in San Francisco. We had a lot of partners, prospects, customers talking about the different products and services of Google Cloud, about the G Suite and the usage of it in the workplace, the improvements, and the ecosystem that we're building, helping startups anywhere across the world in order to gain traction and live to their potential.
And how do you help your partners now? I guess because you're head of partnerships, what does that actually mean?
So there's a few ways that you can partner. In one case, if I'm taking the G Suite example, we're looking for any sort of product synergies that we have with complementary products out there. We're looking for, on the cloud side, if you look at the long tail of people trying to use cloud, so simplifying on how to get on the cloud. So there's a lot of companies like that, a lot of consultancies, a lot of companies that have that credibility within big enterprises, know a specific industry or vertical much better than we do, and that's where we find great value in partnering together and building together that ecosystem.
So if Andy had a tech company or an IT company and he wanted to use you, how do you engage? How would that work?
Well, I'd really like to know what is the business,
what
are the challenges, what are the requirements?
Online business.
I'm an online business.
Yes. But bear in mind there might be children watching the show, so let's keep it above the desk.
I need a lot of compute power. I must say, a lot of ramping up compute power.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm making a Megamind.
A Megamind dating app.
Megamind dating app that will stalk. Will monitor everyone on the planet.
Well, anything from spinning up virtual machines, so you could start having that computer power, using containers and Kubernetes to make it easier for you to develop your applications, using App Engine to run it, and having a big query to analyze a lot of the data, the usage trends, and making actions on it. So fairly fast, and the nice thing about it is pretty open. You could test it, you could see what works for you. You're not locked in. You could use other tools as well, on-premise as well if you'd like. And that's what's great about the cloud. Security is better. I guess if you think of it, you said before you use Google Search, right?
Yeah.
A lot of us use Google products. and for the most part they're very reliable and we have the value and benefit from them. They're using the same sort of infrastructure, and it took Google 15, 16 years to develop and their expertise for that enterprise, for that infrastructure to be as good as it is. So if you're a new business trying to get a similar sort of reliability, you don't need to spend those 16 years, you can just use the infrastructure that we've developed for you.
Now, I have this image of Google that you all sit on beanbags. Do you have a Google campus in the UK? And is it beanbags?
We have a Google campus actually here in London in the East, where startups, entrepreneurs use quite often. Beanbags, let's see, last time I was there.
We watched The Intern. No, it wasn't The Intern. What was it called?
The Internship.
The Internship. And everybody arrives to work in a Segway.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a dry cleaning done. And
driverless cars.
Driverless cars. Is this your normal day? Do you
sounds like you need to go to a trip to Mountain View and see the campus.
That sounds like an invite.
If it's an invite.
That sounds like an invite. Thank you, Google. We will be there.
But yeah, I mean, Google is a unique company in a way. I wouldn't say that there's beanbags all over, but there's a certain understanding that Google got on the culture of the organization, of the workplace, in order to get the most out of the employees, get them to do their best and materialize to their own potential just like they do with customers. And culture is an important aspect not just for Google, but you hear that more and more in other organizations. It's not just about the technology, it's about the human and the people aspect as well. And if you build the right environment that helps both, then you've got a winning strategy.
You see, I'm a big lover of pain as a fear factor to get the most out of people.
Fear factor.
Don't indulge him, please.
I've got an electroshock machine.
Okay.
That basically, if you tell me a lie, it's going to put.
I'm not going to fall for that.
Yeah. So I won't do that. I couldn't do that to you. I did it to someone earlier, and he wasn't really happy.
I'm sure he was.
However, is there anything that you could give us an insight on what Google are working on at the moment? There's like a little snippet anything out there that go, well, wow.
Well, if you follow a little of the news that came out of Next last week, you'd understand there's a lot of new features in our security, in our platform, in our G Suite applications as well. So that's pretty much it, and that's out there. I can't say that we're not working on other stuff. I'm sure that
gadgets or anything like that.
I'm sure we are, and I'm sure that for the most part, I don't even know that.
Yeah.
But we're all trying to kind of find better ways to improve the digital ecosystem, create new products, and create more value. I think that's the great big idea.
And other than coming to see us, what are you doing here at the show?
I'm participating in a panel which I think starts pretty soon on big data. And I think later there's another talk on big data, although it's later in the day, so I'm not sure I'm going to stay.
Big data is very much the thing at the moment.
Big data is a big data. Analytics. I mean, there's all the jargons, but when you break them down and you see how they could help your business, then it's really real.
I mean, are you ever worried that the privacy laws will change considerably for publicly known records and information out there that could affect Google, do you think? Well, we're talking about big data and analytics.
Well, in most cases, we believe that the data should be owned by the user, by the person. There's never give any sort of information that would help identify that. So no PII and all that. So very strict internally on how we use data. And I think it's going to be a constant sort of balance between the countries, the regulation, the sovereignty, and the technology companies and vendors. But I think we're in a good course, to get the benefit for everyone.
Great.
Yeah. Signing off with an optimistic.
I was hoping I could give you a shock and then give you a prize, but I know you're going to be running late soon. But I'm really impressed with the Google Cloud. I think it's like this horse race, not that say you're coming from behind, but there are big players out there that have done the whole commodity public cloud thing. A few players have pulled out, and a few people trying to get in it really late. You've always been there, but you've never pushed.
Yeah.
I think you're starting to push now, and it's always been like the sleeping dragon with Google. I can develop stuff and publish and host stuff with AWS. I can do this, but you've had this here already, but you've never pushed it. And I think with a big push, I think, well, you know, you could be the leader in it in all reality.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
And you can pay me later. Yeah.
Right.
Brilliant. Thank you very
Fantastic.
much.
Thank you,
Thank
Yuval.
you.
From Google.
Been a pleasure.
Cloud, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is Google? Fantastic.
It's actually impressive stuff that they do, you know.
Yeah,
And
very
so
much so.
We think AWS is cheap. 35%. That's 35%.
How much are they paying you?
Cheaper
How
than
much are they
AWS.
paying you for this? You know, we're not allowed to do endorsements on this show.
I'm not endorsing
Have
it.
you
I'm
got?
just-
Have you got some?
Yes, I have. Do you want me to show you the report I read only this morning?
It's a very good report.
But yeah, it's just impressive, and yet they don't advertise about it.
So
Right?
that was. Nope, they don't.
So incredible. And
But do
okay.
they need to advertise?
Hello.
It's a great time to take a photograph.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
okay, so thank you for joining us for the morning session.
That is the morning
It
session.
is now over. Sadly, we will be back shortly with Behind the Cloud Expo with Andy Johnson, asking the hard questions.
I like the way
It's
you
the
put the
nasty-
emphasis on hard.
Hard questions.
Hard.
And we will be back later on today. So
Yes.
thank you for joining us, and
Time for lunch.
until then, time for lunch. See you soon.